Hey guys, remember last time we were reading Lulu and the Brontosaurus, and we finished with chapter 9 where Mr. B, the Brontosaurus, he wanted Lulu to be his pet. Chapter 10. Lulu's eyes were two round O's of amazement. She tried to speak, but at first no words came out. And then finally she was able to say in a squeaky, amazed kind of voice, "I don't think I heard what I think I just heard, Mr. B." "You did indeed," the Brontosaurus replied. "Well, if I did," Lulu's voice was back to being bossy, her old bossy self again. "Well, if I did, I've got news for you. A person has a pet. An animal is a pet. A person can't be an animal's pet, ever." "And I have some news for you," the Brontosaurus said to Lulu, except that he spoke more politely than Lulu had done. "You're about to be the first person ever to be an animal's pet. Congratulations, and once again, happy birthday." He reached out a hand, or whatever you want to call it, and gently scooped Lulu off the forest floor. He then plunked her gently down where his back met his neck. "Hold on tight, little pet," he said to Lulu. "I'll pull off some leaves from the tops of the trees for your breakfast, and then I'm taking you home to live with me." "No," yelled Lulu. "No, no, no. A billion zillion times no." "Yes, yes, yes," the Brontosaurus replied. "I'll feed you and pat you and play with you and treat you very nicely. And all I'll expect from you is to sit and roll over and fetch a ball and do cute tricks." What did he think she was? Some kind of dog girl? I really don't know. I can't read a dinosaur's mind. Lulu thought about screeching and throwing herself on the forest floor, except that the forest floor was a long way down. She thought about squeezing the dinosaur dead, except that she needed both hands to hang onto his neck. She thought about swinging and swinging her suitcase and bonking him on the head, except that she'd left her suitcase under a tree. And she couldn't stomp on his foot, because his feet were far too far from his back, where he'd plunked her. Then Lulu started to think that the only thing farther from where the Brontosaurus had plunked her was her home. Her home where her mom and her dad were waiting. Her very own home where no one, not even when she was being a pain, which was most of the time, had ever expected her to sit and roll over and fetch and do cute tricks. "I want to go home to my house," Lulu told the Brontosaurus, and then added in a lot less bossier voice, "Please let me go back to my house, Mr. B." This was maybe the very first time in Lulu's entire life that she, without being told, had used the P word. And yet the Brontosaurus shook his head no. "Once you get used to it," he kindly told Lulu, "I truly believe that you'll like being a pet." Lulu imagined being a pet in the house of this Brontosaurus and never seeing her mom and her dad again. She imagined eating leaves and doing tricks. And she said to herself that if only she could turn today into yesterday, she wouldn't go looking for dinosaurs in the forest, and she wouldn't say "foo on you" to her mom and her dad. She was feeling especially sorry that she'd ever said "foo on you" to her mom and her dad. That's the end of chapter 10. I wonder what Lulu is going to learn from this story. Chapter 11. The Brontosaurus pulled leaves off the trees and was offering them to Lulu. She grabbed them and threw them angrily away. "A simple no thank you will do," the Brontosaurus said to Lulu. "And I really like that 'please' you used before." "So please, please, please let me go home," yelled Lulu. "Your yelling is hurting my ears," said the dinosaur. "But I have to admit that even if you had asked me softly and sweetly, I still would want to keep you here with me. I've been lonely, and a pet is a very good thing." For hours and hours and hours, from early morning till just past noon, Lulu kept telling the Brontosaurus that he had to let her go home, and the Brontosaurus kept telling Lulu no. He also kept assuring her that he'd do his absolute best to make her happy. He spoke in such a nice and kind and polite and patient voice that after a while Lulu was talking, not yelling. And after a while she was talking softly and sweetly. And pretty soon after that, she started to cry. Yes, Lulu started to cry. And it wasn't very often that Lulu cried. She'd rather screech till the light bulbs burst and all that other stuff. But right now, she didn't feel screechy. She felt teary. And so she cried and cried and cried, soaking the Brontosaurus with her tears. He patiently waited as Lulu continued soaking him and the forest floor with her tears. He patiently waited some more and then said, "I'm sorry I'm making you cry, little pet, but I won't be changing my mind. Would you like a tissue?" Lulu now understood that no matter how hard she cried and how nice this dinosaur was, he was determined to keep her as a pet. And she now understood that if she was determined to not be his pet, she would have to escape. She cried just a little bit longer, but while she was crying on the outside, she was on the inside making a getaway plan. Now that's not the end of the chapter, but I'm going to stop there. What do you think her plan is going to be? We'll find out next time.